Nataraj and Anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism is a terminology well known in literary circles. It is the art of attributing human qualities to non-human beings or things. This literary device seems to have been fully exploited around 500 BC in the throes of a literary and knowledge revolution, otherwise known as the Vedic period. Takshashila, Taxila, an ancient learning center existing during this period, would have used this art extensively in creating Puranic texts, as would have the other learning centers in ancient India. Vedic texts also, in one form or another, have used this art from 7000 BC to date. Apart from literary persons, learned people of ancient medicine also used this art to explain the functions of human organs, attributing human qualities to them. Probably, ancient healers sought the help of literary persons in creating these anthropomorphic texts, either for easy comprehension or to save the knowledge from being forgotten. Learned people of a particular century created imaginary human beings to explain human organs and human health. People of another century mistook those imaginary human beings for the divine and considered them deities with superhuman powers. In reality, the Vedic deities are not gods, but representations of human organs, and the relationships between these organs are described as interactions between imaginary human beings. Shiva and Parvati are husband and wife. They are imaginary people representing the pituitary and pineal glands. These glands are housed in the thalamus of the brain, which is known as Kailash, and treated as their residence. Ganesha and Kartikeya are their sons. Ganesha, the elder son, is the given name for the scrotum and testes. Kartikeyan, the second son, is the given name for sperm. Vishnu, considered the brother of Parvati, is the given name for the digestive and endocrine system. Thus, he is the maternal uncle of Ganesha and Kartikeya. As a maternal uncle, he helps Ganesha and Kartikeya on many occasions. Parvati represents the female section of society, and Vishnu is the savior of all females. Relationships between individual organs in a human body cannot be broken or erased. So, it is in Indian society or Hindu culture. Ancient medicines are so deep-rooted that medical information has merged with the day-to-day activities of society and people. Anthropomorphites, practitioners of anthropomorphism, are said to have existed in Egypt, Greece, and at Indus Valley civilization sites during the 4th century. The concept of organized religion and God came into being between the 4th century and the 9th century, early period of Chola kingdom. Some described it as theomorphism. Interestingly, religions around the world are extensive uses of anthropomorphism, and yet they are the first to condemn the practice. The practice of relating something to God or religion has been set from the 4th century and is in use even today. Bharatanatyam, for instance, that relates a dance form to the Hindu religion and to Shiva. Bharatanatyam is a form of classical dance originating from South India. How did the dance get its name Bharatanatyam? Some people believe Bha means bhava, abhinaya or expression. Ra means raga or melody. Ta means tala or rhythm, and Natya means dance, drama. Some thought Bharatanatyam was created by Bharata Muni, a sage, thus the name. Bharata Muni could also be an imaginary name like Thiruvalluvar, Tirumular, and Tolkapiyar. Some others thought Bharatanatyam was named after the legendary king after whom India was supposedly named Bharat. Who is correct? Bharatanatyam is a traditional dance form known for its grace, purity, tenderness, and sculpturesque poses. Bharatanatyam is the embodiment of music in visual form. Today, it is one of the most popular and widely performed dance styles practiced by male and female dancers all over India and outside. Bharatanatyam is the manifestation of the South Indian idea of celebrating the beauty of the physical body. Yoga culture and yogic postures have been incorporated in the dance, which makes it unique. It can also be presumed that yoga culture must have been developed and nurtured in South India. Yoga culture is said to have been practiced by the people of Indus Valley civilization. Does it connect these two regions of ancient India? Yes, indeed. Bharatanatyam is a fire dance, the manifestation of the metaphysical element of fire, sexual desire, in the human body. Shiva is considered an element of fire and is related to procreative activities. Thus, he is called a creator. Shiva is also known as Pitta, which means fire and is one of the elements of Ayurvedic treatment. The movements of an authentic Bharatanatyam dancer resembles the movements of a dancing flame. Bharatanatyam philosophy also has given birth to the South Indian musical tradition of Carnatic music. Bharatanatyam is also known as Natya Yoga, dance exercise. Natya Shastra text is called the authentic blueprint of Bharatanatyam. It is probably the result of sustained effort and elaborate research into the human mind and body, which is nothing but an understanding of human anatomy and its functions. Natya Shastra also deals with other matters regarding the qualities of dancers, elaborate gestures, movements of limbs, sentiments, rasas, emotional states, bhavas, etc. It also talks about the costumes, which should be charmingly beautiful. The erotic sentiment, Sringara, is its foundation. It states that this cannot be adequately portrayed by men, but by women. Bharatanatyam dancers not only entertain viewers through their physical movement, but keep themselves fit and healthy, which is its prime purpose. Incidentally, Shiva is connected to the procreative activities of the human body under the Trinity or Tirumurti classification. Bharatanatyam is connected to Shiva and therefore to the Hindu religion through the medium of Nataraj. Bharatanatyam is the representation of the Ananda Tandavam of Shiva, which is a representation of sexual desire and stimulation. Nataraj is given the name for Shiva and is the presiding deity of Bharatanatyam. The bronze statue of Nataraj was sculpted during the golden era of the Chola kingdom between the 11th and 12th centuries. Hence, Bharatanatyam is known as a symbol of South India, known as Dravidian, South. The Dravidian concept is also disputable. Dravidian is Drava, Idam, meaning the place of a water body. Many organs in the middle portion of human body are in fact water bodies. The Cholas were considered champions of Hinduism, and many temples were constructed during their period. Indian history specifies that most Hindu temples in ancient India were constructed after the 10th century only. Doubts arise whether these structures were built for worship or as medical camps. Many of these temples have sthala viriksha, a tree or plant attached to the temple. These plants have medicinal properties. Even today, people with certain ailments are directed to specific temples for relief. Many temples were given vast areas of land, perhaps to grow herbs, etc. for treatment. Rajendra Chola, during the 11th century, is said to have marched to the Ganges on eastern coast of India and brought back Ganges water. He assumed the title Gangaikonda Cholan, and his capital was moved to Gangaikonda Cholapuram. It is said that the city was built in accordance with architectural treatises and was well planned. Mohenjo-daro and Harappa of Indus Valley civilization were also planned cities. Was there a nexus? Either the Chola kings have seen or known about Indus Valley settlements or possess documents regarding their layouts, etc. Bharatanatyam and Nataraj are Tamil words attached to the dancing posture of Shiva, who is said to be in Ananda Tandavam. By the 10th century, ancient Indians were aware that the country was called Bharat, named after the legendary king or otherwise. Nat or Nadu means country. Yam or Iyam comes from the word Iyambudal in Tamil. It means narration or to explain. Thus, Bharatanatyam, Bharata, Nat, Iyam means explaining or narrating about the country named Bharat. The word Nata or Nada in Tamil means walk, and the word Raj means Rajyam or country. Nataraj, Nata, Raj may mean measuring the country by walking around. Since Bharatanatyam has come into existence through the medium Nataraj, it may mean that the country Bharat, India, was measured through marching or walking. The dance posture of Shiva seems to be defining the boundaries of country Bharat. This marching or walking coincides with Rajendra Chola's Himalayan march to bring water from the Ganges. There is a striking resemblance between the ancient map of India and the statue of Nataraj. Rajendra Chola's march to the Ganges fits into this statue's creation. He would have marched all over India up to the Himalayas and brought back Ganges water. His march along the eastern coast of India must have been just the beginning. By roping in Shiva under the guise of Nataraj to show the map of ancient India, Chola dynasty sculptors created a connection to religion. Thus, the existence of theomorphism during Rajendra Chola's period is confirmed. The statue of Nataraj, ancient India, measured or observed by walking, depicts Shiva in a dancing posture. Normally, Nataraj's head is shown with curling hair, Jadamudi, extending outward on both sides of his head. Close look at the ancient Indian map and the Nataraj statue will show us the similarities between each other. The head of Nataraj, who is linked to Shiva, represent the Himalayan mountains. Rivers and Himalayan mountain ranges are depicted as hair curling down from the head sideways. The upper right hand of Nataraj's statue holds a drum or the damara instrument, which symbolizes creation through the primordial sound. Western parts of Pakistan, also of ancient India, are made up of mountains with passes through which Europeans and other immigrants and invaders entered the Indian subcontinent. It is also used by ancient Indians to contact the outside world overland. Middle areas of present-day Pakistan fall where the Eurasian plate and the Indian plate meets. The place is seismically very active. The drum on the right hand represents these features, the movement of people and the tectonic happenings in this area. The drum makes loud, crashing noises which is equated with earthquakes, etc. The upper left hand of the Nataraj statue holds Agni or fire, which is said to symbolize destruction or Shiva's destructive power. The foothills of the Himalayas in the northeast, which are rich in vegetation, are represented by Agni in the left hand. Forests ignite easily. The other or second right hand of the Nataraj statue makes a reassuring gesture for the well-being of the people. The second left hand, which points towards the raised foot, signifies an obstacle remover. Both the second right and the second left hand of Nataraj that represent the removal of obstacles and convey assurance refer to the Indo-Gangetic plains, which are very fertile. Nataraj's left foot is aloft, crossed over the body and pointing to the right, which is said to symbolize liberation and salvation. The left leg, crossed over the body towards the west side, indicates the Vindhya Santpura range of hills, parallel range, which is in central India and divides the country into north and south. The western end of the range rises in eastern Gujarat and runs towards the east. The thumb or big toe of the left leg represents or looks like the Kutch Peninsula. 4 other toes of the left leg represent the Kathiawar Peninsula. The middle portion of the statue The areas between the legs, groin, is hidden for modesty. Left leg crossing over the right leg indicates the Ajanta Ellora caves. Some caves are below ground level, which were well covered by surrounding hills and were not known to outsiders for a long time. Ajanta caves date to 200 BC. They were discovered by the British Army in 1819 only. Ellora caves date to between 5 to 10 AD. Ajanta Ellora caves are celebrated for their cave art and architecture. Chola sculptors must have been aware of both these areas and incorporated those details while crafting the Nataraj statue. The slightly bent right leg represents or looks like the Western Ghats, which start near the border of Gujarat and run towards the southern tip of the Indian peninsula. Nataraj's right foot crushes the demon, which symbolizes the crushing of ignorance and evil. The demon at the base of the right foot, representing the slaying of Ravana, is Sri Lanka, considered Ravana's kingdom. It may be a representation of Rajendra Chola's 11th century venture to conquer and annex part of Sri Lanka into the Chola kingdom. The present day map shows that Sri Lanka is almost connected to mainland India. Many still believe that there existed a bridge, Ram Setu Bridge, between the two lands, constructed by the army of Anjaneya, monkey of God. If mainland India represents a human body, Sri Lanka is the fetus in its womb. The bridge between a mother and baby is the umbilical cord, which is the Ram Setu Bridge. The snake swirling around Nataraj's waist is the Kundalini, which symbolizes man's inherent power. It is a representation of procreative organs. Bharatanatyam was performed in the olden days by dancers called Devadasis in Hindu temples. Today, Devadasi means concubine or a lady who dances for monetary benefits. This transformation of divine dancers into materialistic dancers would have occurred long after the golden era of the Cholas. The symbolism of the dance of Shiva in the form of Nataraj is called Ananda Tandavam. This was practiced by Devadasis. Shiva is represented as phallic symbol, the lingam. Ananda Tandavam is nothing but the expression of the body's muscle movements during sexual pleasure, which have been translated into the dance of Shiva in the form of Nataraj. The third eye of Shiva represents human orgasm, which is the result of stimulating a cluster of cells in the thalamus area of the brain. In Hindu mythology, the whole universe is the dance of the supreme dancer, Nataraj, a name for Shiva. Of course, human beings in the whole universe have been created through procreative activities for which Shiva as a phallic symbol or blood is instrumental. Devas are gods and are related to Indra in all common translations. They represent the human chromosomes and genes involved in procreative activities for which Indra, Indirium, seminal fluid, is in charge. Kingdom of Devas, group of Devas, is always with Indra. Even today, Dasi means female slave or laborer. The word Dasi must have come from the word Dasa, which means tissue or muscle. During sexual stimulation or orgasm, the muscles of human body contract and release. These movements of muscles, tissues, and cells at the time of the sexual stimulation is considered a dance by the Apsaras. Sara means duck and also refers to brain, rasa, meaning liquid or syrup. And they play their part in the pleasure movements. Some of the hormones are secreted in the duct first before being released into the blood. And some that are released directly into the blood are called ductless hormones. Since Deva represents the DNA and chromosomes of the human body, Devadasi is related to the movements taking place in the germ cells during replication. Thus, the divine medical dance has been constructed as the sexually stimulating dance of actual dancers. Various dance postures have been captured in sculpture and are displayed in temples where dances were performed. Thus, the myth of celestial apsaras was born. Music and dance are a part of every culture, and their manifestations vary according to civilization. This shows the emergence and development of arts and crafts and their importance in the life of a civilization. In the medieval period, local kings often invited temple dancers to dance in their courts. This created a new category of dancers, Rajadasis, and modified the techniques and themes of recitals. Thus, the history of celestial apsaras drastically changed into a new breed of dancers. Their performances were purely for entertainment purposes, to release tensions and relax the minds of the audience. The dasis mentioned in the Vedic scriptures are entirely different from modern dasis. Later generations have termed these sculptures apsaras. The celestial dancers and conferred divinity upon them. Saras can be found in the Saraswati, wife of Brahma. How did this relationship come into existence? These apsaras are mentioned in Puranic stories in proximity with Indra in his court at Swargaloka. Who are they and what are they? Later chapters on Yamadharmaraj and Indra will shed light on these apsaras and their relationship with Saraswati. Bharatanatyam exponents began to call Natya Shastra the fifth Veda, which is a far-fetched comparison. Shiva has nothing to do with Bharatanatyam. Only Nataraj has. Nataraj, ancient India measured or observed by walking, is not Shiva, even though he is called so. The word Nataraj is not mentioned in any Vedic scripture. The name starts appearing only from the Chola period. The famous temple at Chidambaram in Tamil Nadu was constructed with Nataraj as its chief deity. It is said that the temple was constructed during 450 AD. The claim cannot be correct, as it would have been constructed by Rajendra Chola during the 11th century or later. There is no history of temples being built in India before the 10th century. The earliest forms of temples are the painted caves of Ajanta and Ellora between 1 to 6 AD. The approximate boundaries of ancient India can be fixed from the statue of Nataraj. The center point of the statue is the groin area, which is the region of the Ajanta and Ellora caves. This is situated at north latitude 20 degree and east longitude 75 degree. The southern tip of Sri Lanka is at north latitude 6 degree and the northern tip of India is somewhere at north latitude 36 degree. The lengths of the north-south areas are approximately 30 degrees. If the same measurement is applied to the east-west side, the western tip is at east longitude 60 degree, which is around Baluchistan. The eastern tip is at east longitude 90 degree, which is around Arunachal Pradesh. The breadths of the east-west areas are also approximately 30 degrees. These measurements are the areas of ancient India which approximately fit into the Indian subcontinent. Historians and scholars fix the areas for the Indus Valley civilization between Balochistan and Gujarat, east, which is far-fetched. The reason for this inaccuracy stems from the fact that the features of the Indus Valley civilization are available elsewhere in India even today. Some historians and scholars believe that the Indus Valley civilization culture did not disappear or die suddenly. These presently indicated areas of Indus Valley civilization may have merely been the gateway to the Indus Valley civilization spread over the whole of India and to contemporaries like Egypt and Mesopotamia. These marked areas of Indus Valley civilization could be indicating the commercial center, a literary hub, etc. for the people of ancient India.